Titans, Rams, best game of the week by far. Titans take this one 28-16 pretty handedly. Titans 7-2, Rams 7-2. I'll say this start off with Titans. I said that, and if you check last week's podcast, it was only me. Everyone was saying, a lot of people were saying, Titans are dead in the water without Derrick Henry. Check my last week's podcast. I said they were.
Well, maybe not. I'll go into it.
I said last week, I said Nichols is going to step up. Adrian Peterson is going to step up. Devonta Foreman somehow stepped up in this game in terms of rushing. Wasn't a fantastic rushing game. Got the job done. I think it's going to be that way until Derrick Henry comes back. It's going to get the job done. And then also, I think offensively, again, got the job done. Still a lot of work to do. You got to remember, the Titans are replacing the 30-plus carries a game from Derrick Henry in a snap. They have to replace and change their whole offense around. But I think they have the talent to do so. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, you're going to see more and more usage out of them. 42 yards on 5 receptions for A.J. Brown. You had 4 receptions and 35 yards for Julio. Again, you're going to see them more and more get involved in the offense. I think this Titans team is going to stay afloat on offense because they have the talent to do so. Defensively, this is where the team shined this week, 100%. Jeffrey Simmons, 3 sacks on the day. Fantastic game out of him. He had an interception out of Long, which I think wasn't it like a swat down? I forget.
Well, it was actually, so Jeffrey Simmons would have had 4 sacks, but so what happened was he was taking Stafford down and then he threw it for some reason and then Long picked off. And that's really where the game turned.
Yeah. And Kevin Byard was also an interception. Again, defense really shined here, which is incredible because the Titans on paper don't have the greatest defense, but they're doing well, and you gotta give them credit. Rams moved to 7-2. I think both teams are Super Bowl contenders, and again, Titans are beating the Rams 28-16 right now without Derrick Henry. Imagine a well-rested Derrick Henry 6 to 7 weeks from now. Titans could be in that mix for Super Bowl contenders. Max?
I will say about the defense, it's funny how your greatest liabilities can go to some of your greatest strengths in the span of a year. The Titans' defensive line last year got 19 sacks, and we're up to 23 this year, I believe, in half a year, essentially. These guys stepped up, and watching them rush the quarterback is something to behold, especially, I mean, maybe it's not that impressive for teams that have had good pass rushing, but for a team like the Titans that has not been able to get pressure on the quarterback, watching Jeffrey Simmons improve, like he's been mainly a run stuffer, but then now he's getting involved as a pass rusher. Harold Landry turning in a career year just in time for a new contract. Bud Dupree, not meeting expectations, but I think we can expect him to get better because he's still probably recovering from that ACL because he jumped the gun returning a little bit. And then Nico Autry still. Everyone on that line is helping each other just because of the mere presence of everyone there. And it's going to show you how winning in the trenches can make such a difference, And offensively, I mean, I will say I didn't think it was an impressive game, obviously, and like you said, you're not going to replace Derrick Henry's production in 1 week, and that was never what we thought was going to happen. You're not going to replace Derrick Henry's production. No one is going to. I just want to see more out of the passing game, and Ryan Tannehill, I will say, has not been as good as he was last year, and this game was an example. And A.J. Brown, and I love the guy, and he's doing really well to start his career, but he's got to cut the drops. He had 2 critical drops early in this game, and you don't become elite in this league unless you can catch the ball consistently. AJ's got to cut these drops if he wants to be an elite receiver in this league, because it was 3rd down too when he dropped those passes. Like, that's huge, extending these drives, and the Rams are almost able to come back into this game. Like, again, like, you can't expect them to be world beaters 1 week after losing Derrick Henry, but again, it's still got to be better regardless on offense, and hopefully I just hope we do a lot more play action still, because we're still running the ball like a bunch of times a game. So hopefully we can evolve and realize, I mean, even though Tannehill hasn't been that good this year, we still got to use Julio more. He hasn't been targeted much, even though he's been banged up. Mm-hmm. AJ's been doing well. He's doing a lot better, but again, got to catch those passes. So hopefully the pieces will come together, but it's still far from performance. But, given everything that happened in the past week, we'll certainly take a dominant win like that.
Mm-hmm. And that being said, I think this Titans offense is going to get better. As long as their defense continues to stay hot and their offense continues to get better, then you insert Derrick Henry back in at some point, they're a force to be reckoned with.
I will say, hats off to the offensive line for the Titans, minus Bobby Hart, who sucks.
Yeah.
I really thought this team would have
Giants let him go for a reason.
Yeah. I really thought this team would have a terrible time containing Aaron Donald, and he only got 1 sack. I mean, that's all I could have really asked for. I thought he would have. I thought Tannehill was going to get killed, and he was just fine.